Oh, hello, it is I, your boy Gomi. I'm back from Nashville, coming off that card, which ended up being rather lackluster. But here we are with another UFC fight night, UFC Vegas 78. Hopefully, going to be better, have some decent fights. I just want some violence, and I feel at least maybe the main event might deliver that. But yes, let's look into this card. UFC Vegas 78, Vicente Luque returning versus Rafael dos Anjos, RDA, a true BMF. So let's break down the card. Starting out, we're going to have Juliana Miller versus Luana Santos. This is going to be Luana Santos' debut. Juliana Miller is coming off a loss to Veronica Hardy. Yes. I know it says Macedo, but it's Veronica Hardy. But yes. I've seen a little bit of Luana Santos, so I'm going to be leaning towards her because Juliana Miller does not look that good. Not much to say about that fight. Damon Blackshear versus Brady Heisted. I do like Damon Blackshear. I have picked him in his last couple fights, but I think Brady Heisted is going to have overall the better striking. I feel he's overall going to have actually the better grappling as well too. So I know Damon Blackshear is a little bit harder to take down, but I'm going to be leaning towards Brady Heisted in pretty much all aspects, but only slightly. Only slightly, so I'll be slightly leaning towards him. Then Jacqueline Amorim versus, I really want to be able to pronounce this, but we both know I can't. Yeah, Canejo. Not a fan of either of the two. I'm going to be leaning towards Montserrat. She's coming off a loss to Amanda Lemos, who is getting a title shot, but she was knocked out round one. So not looking very promising for either. I'm not going to pick anyone for this fight. Josh Parisian versus Martin Buday. Two big, heavy boys. A little bit probably overweight, to be honest with you. Both of them coming at that 266-pound weight limit. Both of them not really working much on their physique, but both have power. Both plod a little bit forward, perhaps too much, but I think this is going to be a bang. I think it's going to be a stand and bang where there's going to be some knockouts. I'm actually going to be leaning towards Martin Buday because he is the better of the two by far. And I think this is going to be a knockout round one. Maybe do under a round and a half. But Martin Buday definitely is going to be getting that W in my opinion. Francis Marshall versus Isaac Dulgarian. Isaac Dulgarian is making his debut. And he has had some pretty decent fights in, I don't remember. I have no idea what promotion it was. I cannot remember. But regardless, I've seen a few of those fights, and they're pretty decent. But Francis Marshall overall has been on a really good win streak, coming off his first loss, which was a split decision loss, mind you, to William Gomes. I think he probably won that fight. I think you could have argued either or. He also beat Marcelo Rojos, who's a very exciting fighter. I like Francis Marshall. I like his striking. I think overall he's a good volume striker. It just doesn't land very well, but regardless, I think he's going to be able to take out Isaac Dulgarian in his debut. Terrence Nope. No, I guess no. I guess UFC says no. Terrence McKinney is going to be making a short notice replacement against Mike Brendan. I think Mike Brendan sucks. Terrence McKinney, I've been fading him on all of his last fights. I have faded him on his last couple fights, and he's on a little bit of a losing streak. I figured he'd lose to Bonfim and Sadikov, but he was able to beat Gonzalez, but I did fade him against Dober, so I'm 1-3. I'm 3-1 when it comes to fading Terrence McKinney. I think this is a make or break fight for him. I think he's going to come out like a bat out of hell, and I think he's got to finish Mike Brendan. The only problem is Terrence McKinney does not go to decisions, even if he loses. So he's had some bad losses. I don't think Mike Brendan's going to be able to submit him. I don't think he has the power to take out Terrence McKinney. So I think McKinney will get this done. And I'm usually right when it comes to him. JP Buys versus Marcus McGee. I think this is going to be a good fight. I think this is definitely going to be a very good fight. Marcus McGee, while not the best looking guy of all time, like Jesus Christ, he looks like he's 40, and I'm pretty sure he's my age. Actually, in fact, I gotta look that up. How old is Marcus McGee? Marcus McGee is, nope, never mind, he's older than me, but he does not look 33. Yeah, JP Buys, I think, is a solid fighter out of South Africa, but Marcus McGee, even though I'm fading on him, he's fading on his looks, he's a very good fighter. He's a very good fighter. He's had only one fight in UFC, but it was a very impressive debut. He's got a 7-1 record. I'm going to be taking Marcus McGee. I'm going to be taking Marcus McGee by knockout because I don't like how JP Buys doesn't have the best head movement. I've seen him get tagged pretty badly, and he's coming off a KO 1-round loss to Durden, and then he also got knocked out by Bruno Silva as well too, not the middleweight Bruno Silva. So I'm going to be leaning towards Marcus McGee, and I think he's going to knock him out. Moving on to the main card, Josh Fremd versus Jamie Pickett. Jamie Pickett, as we saw, is pretty not good. I know a lot of people want to lean in towards the nut shot that he took from Bo Nickel to set up that submission. Jamie Pickett was getting submitted anyways. That nut shot may have deducted a minute off the time it would take for Bo Nickel to submit him. Josh Fremd is decent. He's not the best. He's coming off a win to Cedric Dumas, and beyond that, he got absolutely butchered by Trishan Gore. Almost got his head ripped off. God, that was a nasty guillotine. Or was it a bulldog? Bulldog choke. I can't remember. Regardless, he almost got his head ripped off. I think Josh Fremd is not that good, but I think Jamie Pickett's worse. But you know why I'm really not going to be picking Jamie Pickett ever? If you lose to a Dawkins, especially the Dawkins that's out the UFC, I'm fading you till the ends of time. I'm not picking against you. Josh Fremd, inside the distance, to win over Jamie Pickett. Get out of my face. AJ Dobson versus Tafon Nikchui. I'm not high on either of these guys. Both guys have a very similar record. Both guys, though, are not all that good. I'm going to be leaning towards AJ Dobson. I think he's going to be the more technical fighter while still remaining very explosive, but both guys are meh. Poliana Viviana versus Yasmin Lucindo. I'm pretty sure I butchered both of those. Yep, I'm not too high on this fight. I honestly think there are many fights I would have put on the main card over that, like the McKinney versus Brennan fight, Marshall versus Dolgarian, JP Buys versus Marcus McGee definitely should have been there. But both are pretty solid fighters. I like the striking of Lucindo. Poliana overall as well too is coming off a really nice knockout to Jinyan Frey. The only problem is Jinyan Frey is old now, so that's not as impressive as a win as it makes to be. I don't think this is that interesting a fight. I'm going over 1.5. Next to the main event, the fight I'm looking forward to the most, the end of the Dawkins brothers. They are going down. Kyle Dawkins is already out the UFC, and now Chris Dawkins is on his way out. This is going to be his light heavyweight debut for Chris Dawkins. He finally decided to take his career seriously, finally dropping down to light heavyweight, which he probably should have been from the start, but they decided, hey, guess what? You fought against Derek Lewis. You know what? Let's give you... Oh, you fought against Curtis Blades, too. Let's give you the worst person you possibly could have gotten outside the top 15 in the light heavyweight division. Khalid Rountree Jr. is one of the most violent fighters in the UFC. He bends the rules in a, good way. He, bends the rules. I really love his striking skill set. The only problem is he could be a little bit off. When he's off, he's off. When he's on, he's on. Murdered Robson. Took out his leg. Destroyed Modestas Bukauskas. Beat the living crap out of him. Got the crap kicked out by Prochnio. Beat the life out of Anders. That's one of the most... got, I believe, 4 or 5 knockdowns. beautiful display of Muay Thai. Got knocked out by Walker. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, man. I don't know if it's a mental thing. I think it's a mental thing, but just Khalid Rountree Jr., when he's on, he's just a joy to watch. He will go for kicks to the body. When you're down, he'll kick you on the ground. He'll go for terrible, awful oblique kicks. And I think terrible as in God, they hurt. Khalid Rountree Jr. is just power personified when he's on point. Dawkins sucks. Dawkins is making his debut. Dawkins hasn't fought at this weight class. I think Khalid Rountree Jr. is going to beat the living piss out of him, to be perfectly honest with you. I just don't see much avenues for Dawkins to win other than a freak leg break or Khalid Rountree Jr.'s puppy died or something like that. Otherwise, give me Rountree by murder. Give me Rountree within the distance, under 1.5 rounds. And next we go to the actual co-main event. Cub Swanson versus Hakeem Dawodu. Hakeem Dawodu isn't all that, but he had some good fights, and he only lost to some pretty decent guys. Juliano Rosa and then Movsar Evelev are not bad losses to have, but he hasn't really fought many good guys, to be honest with you, as well too. The good guys he's really fought to, he's lost to. Meanwhile, Cub Swanson is an absolute veteran of the sport. Inducted to the Hall of Fame for one of the best fights of all time. He's got some wins over Elkins, a round 1 knockout. And then he also has a very interesting win in here that I'm sure many of you guys might not have known about. God damn, how far back was this fight? God damn, how far back was this fight? Where is it? There we go. Yeah, he beat Dustin Poirier. Yeah. And Jeremy Stevens. So yes, Cub Swanson back in the day, monster. Nowadays, he's just old. I'm gonna be leaning towards Hakeem Dawodu. And we are on the main event. Vicente Luque versus Rafael dos Anjos, or as I affectionately call him, RDA. Now this is gonna be a fight. Potentially. There's some problems I actually have with this matchup that I'll go over in a moment. One of the main problems I'm really going to be having with this fight, though, is an X factor. A big X factor of the fact that Vicente Luque is coming off brain hemorrhaging. Literally, he took so much damage from Jeff Neal that it caused his brain to bleed. Oh my god, dude. His style. Vicente Luque has always been a welterweight Justin Gaethje. Maybe even a little bit crazier, to be honest, because Justin Gaethje really tightened up towards the end, while Vicente Luque never did that. Never. Regardless, let's get to tail tape. Vicente Luque, going to be a welterweight match between RDA. Vicente Luque is going to be 31 years of age, 21 wins, 9 losses, 1 draw, 11 knockouts, 8 submissions, 5'11" in terms of height, orthodox stance, a 75.5-inch reach advantage, a big reach advantage, a 0.51 takedown average, a 55.32% significant strike accuracy, a -105 underdog. Slight underdog, basically a pick'em. He has significant wins over Michael Chiesa, Tyron Woodley, Randy Brown, and Nico Price, but he has a lot of good wins. He has a really good resume, Vicente Luque does. Some other wins we could actually extend it to for him is I put Woodley, I put Price. Oh, Randy Brown is another one he's beat. He beat Nico Price twice. He also beat Mike Perry. He beat Jalen Turner. He's got some good wins. Sitting across from him is future Hall of Famer BMF RDA. RDA is going to be 38 years of age, 32 wins, 14 losses, Jesus Christ, 5 knockouts, 11 submissions, 5'8" in terms of height, southpaw stance, 70-inch reach disadvantage, pretty big disadvantage, a 2.05 takedown average, a 54.89% significant strike accuracy, -115 favorite, with significant wins over Brian Barberena, Renato Moicano, Paul Felder, and Kevin Lee. All right, then. So, the brain bleed. If you look at how they fight, how it is, Vicente Luque seems to be the better fighter in pretty much all aspects. He has more experience in the welterweight division. I know RDA did get up to fight for an interim title or title contender bout to in the welterweight division, but Vicente Luque is a true welterweight. Rafael dos Anjos has always just been a really big lightweight that had immense talent and skill that was able to carry him in this heavier weight class, which he might not have belonged. But we saw Colby Covington and Kamaru Usman was able to beat him back to lightweight. Still ranked at lightweight, I believe he is, which is surprising to me. My problem though with Vicente Luque is that brain bleed. He's coming off a year layoff due to that insanely devastating knockout from Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal beat the piss out of him. Beat the piss out of him. Cracked his skull. And you know the reason why? I've always said this about Vicente Luque. I love watching Vicente Luque fight. He has some of the best fights of all time and just pure excitement factor against Brian Barberena, against Jeff Neal's exciting fight, against Michael Chiesa. He has nothing against Mike Perry, Nico Price, the second fight against Nico Price. He just has nothing but banger fights. Wonderboy Thompson. But the problem is he doesn't move his head. Vicente Luque has awful head movement. And I'll tell you right now, that head movement, it catches up with everyone. It caught up with Ronda Rousey. It caught up with Charles Oliveira. It caught up with last weekend, Kenny Ngannou. And I said that Kenny Ngannou has had poor head movement, so Dustin Jacoby could chin him. Guess what he chinned him? He chinned him off a counter shot because he didn't move his head. Vicente Luque didn't move his head against a brutal power puncher in form of Jeff Neal. Jeff Neal hits hard. Jeff Neal hit him with 9 uppercuts in a row. How do you get hit with 9 uppercuts in a row? Move your head. He doesn't. He doesn't, and that's what just caused so much irrefutable damage to Vicente Luque to the point where I don't think I could pick him. RDA notoriously is a little bit of a pillow-fisted fighter, honestly. He's more of a submission guy, but he can be a volume striker. He can throw with reckless abandon, and he can crack. He cracked Fiziev. He beat the living piss out of Moicano. Bruised and bloodied him bad. And I mean bad. I forgot Edwards beat the crap out of him. I forgot. Did he butcher him with elbows too? But one showcasing of that RDA will absolutely stand and trade with you is actually going to be, oh god, how far was this fight? Where is it? It's Robbie Lawler. Where is it? Alright, when he unleashed a 20 punch combo on Robbie Lawler. That's one thing to show you that, like, he will. Oh, there it is, right here. Yeah, he unloaded a 20 punch combo on Robbie Lawler when he got him hurt, and he didn't finish him because it's pill fisted, but he was just able to launch volume. Do I worry Vicente Luque's brain bleed from fighting against an RDA? I think I do, because that volume can still hurt you. Max Holloway will still hurt you, even though he doesn't have a lot of pop out of shots. I also feel too that like RDA could potentially go work the ground game, maybe get a submission. The only thing is Vicente Luque is pretty good takedown defense unless you're a bigger, heavier welterweight or elite welterweight wrestler like Bilal Muhammad. Then again, he did knock out Bilal Muhammad in the first fight, but we have seen that RDA can handle bigger guys in the welterweight division and grapple them if they don't have good defensive grappling, like a Bam Bam Barberena, who he's able to take out relatively easily. Meanwhile, Bam Bam was able to drop Vicente Luque in their fight. Granted, that was so many years ago. Vicente Luque has good offensive grappling. He is the Darce Knight. He has really good Darce chokes, which are very effective against a guy shooting in a sloppy takedown, being able to just lock up a Darce on him. We saw that he did it to Michael Chiesa, and we saw that happen to Michael Chiesa again. Though I think RDA is smarter defensively in terms of defensive grappling to let that not happen. Regardless, I think this has a chance to be a good banger of a fight, but it also could be a wash, or it could be just we are all worried for Vicente Luque. He should probably retire. I don't know. I'm surprised he came back from the brain bleed, but as it stands, Everything leans towards Vicente Luque as the better fighter, but I just can't pick him. Knowing that brain bleed, knowing hemorrhaging in the brain, coming off a layoff, while RDA is still good. He's still very solid of a fighter. I'm going to slightly lean towards the RDA, exactly how the odds are, but I don't like picking on this fight. I think pick who you like. I think this is a perfect pick 'em. Maybe play both sides. Maybe play Vicente Luque by knockout because RDA did get knocked out by Rafael. Or maybe pick the submission by RDA. Maybe even a knockout by RDA. But yeah, hard fight to call, but let's hope it'll be a good fight. Let me know what you think in the comment sections below. But as of right now, I just have to go for RDA. But once again, this has been your boy Gomi. Bye-bye.